Hi there Aquarius, thank you for joining me for your year 2014 forecast. This year begins with the Sun and Pluto combining together in the 12th most psychological house of your solar horoscope. Now Pluto's been here for the last 5 years and already giving some important lessons in understanding what makes you tick at a deeper level, and especially if you are born towards the front of Aquarius. However, there is also 2 other planets tuning in to this combination, and one of them is your ruler, Uranus, which is squaring up to Pluto and the Sun, but is in opposition with Mars, which is located in your sister air sign of Libra. The suggestion here is that as you burst into this new year, I think you could be very much more outspoken than sometimes you are. Of course, you have a reputation of being a little bit of a rebel, but there's another side of your nature that can adhere very much to tradition and fitting in with the wider scheme of things, because you can be a great team player. But I feel that if something has niggled you over the Christmas holidays, particularly around a family matter or point of principle, then it could be very active as you enter this new year. Now the thing is, these issues at the start of the year form a solar return, so they're kind of a little bit of a metaphor for what's going to be going on for the next 12 months. So it suggests that there can be sudden revelations all through this year, and something that you've been keeping very close to your chest could come out into the open. It may not be something you're particularly comfortable with, but someone may confront you with a side of you that up to now you've wanted to keep very much to yourself. Or the converse can happen. There may be something that other people have been withholding, and you use all your tenacity and outspokenness to delve into this matter, get at the truth and reveal it into the open, and that could prove to be highly cathartic. But in the wider scheme of things, Mars is really giving you a major push to be much more adventurous, freedom-loving and independent, not just at the start of this year, but right through till the end of July. Mars is a planet that's about ourselves. It's the planet of actualization, ego and instant gratification. In the 9th solar house, it could see you traveling a lot more, connecting with people from overseas, or perhaps doing a course of higher education, actually attending an institution, or doing something through distance learning. If you're someone who's had a more sedentary lifestyle in recent times, this could also be the big push to be much more action orientated, and that can be brilliant for your health. But with Uranus lying across the heavens at the start of this year, in your 3rd solar house, your nervous energy can still be a weak point for you. So get in plenty of rest this year when you can, and go into bed as early as possible, making sure that you're maximising your nutrients in terms of your diet are all really good things to do. But what Uranus can do is give you that sparkle of ingenuity for which you are so famed. Of course, this is your co-ruler. Your other traditional ruler is Saturn. Saturn happens also, of course, to be the same ruler as Capricorn. But Saturn, as this year begins, continues as it did last year at the top of your scope in your solar midheaven, in your sector of responsibilities. So one thing I do feel could be a little bit of a challenge for you in the first 6 or 7 months of this year, especially as Saturn goes into a rewind for 5.5 months, is that if you're in a role, a job, or your place in life in general seems to be very restricted and very heavy on obligations and responsibilities, but short on the joy and opportunity to express your unique creativity, then that could be hard going. But Mars can give you the drive to break free, to do something different, to inject your world with a gust of vibrancy and energizing flow, to do something that's more in tune with the person you really want to be. So don't be too hamstrung by the expectations of other people. If, however, you are wanting to make a big move forwards in terms of responsibilities, employment-wise, you want to step up the ladder of success, Saturn will not make it easy for you. We have to be clear about this. But it can certainly give you awesome determination to overcome obstacles. And if you really have the true grit, you will get there. You have to have total belief in yourself. But by the end of January, and in the time when the sun is actually in your sign of Aquarius, well, there's another T-square that forms that mirrors partly that occurred at the start of the year. It still includes Uranus and it still includes Pluto, and these two are going to be squaring up for all but 3 months of this year, suggesting that that nervousness, that psychological nervousness, is something you need to keep working at. But the opposition with Jupiter to Pluto suggests that somebody could do something a little bit unethical in the time from the end of January through to the end of May, and you need to be conscious of your own motivations. Don't take shortcuts in terms of ambitions. It's important to be honest and straightforward. Jupiter is helping you in terms of your health if you want to buy into it, but because it is squaring up with Uranus, and because a weakness for Aquarius people can be the nervous system, it's clear that the more you can do things to soothe, soften, relax, and have some time out from life's pressures, the better it is. Now, we do see an amazing two sets, a pair of eclipses, which occur in April. The first one cautions you to match your emotional being and emotional feelings to what you say. The second one at the end of the month is a solar eclipse, and it's very much about where you live and how you live there. This could be a time when you move, renovate, make some fundamental changes, or even think about having a new addition to the family. This takes us through to the middle of July, when Jupiter moves, but it moves into the most amazing location for you, into your sector of relationships. It's going to be there for the next 12 months, and it could prove to be very fortunate, particularly if you're single. However, it can also be a reviver around an existing relationship too. Jupiter moving into this area can also see you being more fortunate in business partnerships, and if you work in any kind of competitive field or you play sports, Jupiter can help you here too. But at the very end of July, Mars finally says au revoir to your sister air sign of Libra, where it's really been giving you a fantastic boost for the whole of the year up until then. It moves into a deeper, quite sexy zone, but then goes alongside Saturn in the last 2 weeks of August. This could set up some frustrations about your financial situation or about your career, but hold on to your temper where possible. If you can get through that last 2 weeks of August, counting to 10, seeing the big picture and really working hard, you could make an enormous breakthrough at that time. That takes us through to October. The eclipses are repeated again, but this time in reverse. The lunar eclipse is asking you to be as open-minded as possible. There is a part of many Aquarians which does actually strangely like a certain amount of routine, even though you can be very forward-thinking. But the eclipse at the very end of October, the solar eclipse, can see you propelling forwards amazingly well when it comes to your career. Loot, luck, a better position, the job that you've been craving for, they're all possible in the last quarter of 2014. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.